Welcome everybody, here's your Strategy Wolf, and welcome back with Andreas Mahler and Kaspar, and here at Pentiment. We're in the late afternoon or evening, just before dinner, here in Tassing on Kiersau, and yeah, again we're investigating here in Chapter 5 that we got into, right? We're investigating again the murder, the most current one that has happened to, what was his name? Otto? Oh, so bad with the names since we're not playing too often here. Exactly, we're investigating into ease down the situation before the Abbey is getting too angry. Let's quickly check if we can have some talks over here. Actually, that was a pub brawl we got just kicked out. Let's see, so yes, yeah. Carbon fights are dangerous. You never know who you run into, especially in a place with a lot of strangers. Yeah. I saw a fight back in Mühldorf. Wish I hadn't. Watched a man die right in front of me. Okay. Tavern fight? Man can die anywhere. I suppose you don't expect to see it when you're having a beer. The thing is, I shouldn't, never mind. He knows stuff. What is it? It's just with the talk of a murder in the town made me think of something. Okay. If you know something that could help me find the killer, please do. Persuade Joshua. Said something nice about Otto, were rude about the free drinks, okay. Little boys can be frustrating, showed sympathy for the family's weight, asked for help with Otto's murder, nice. So yeah, we've convinced him definitely with our acts. Success. I don't want to get an innocent man in trouble, but that man, the ones they saw Martin, who started the fight with the foreign doctor, they call Martin, yeah. He looks like someone I knew back in Mühldorf, a young man named Jobst Färber. He's the one who killed the poor man in the tavern 6 years ago, this past April. Holy moly. Just flew out of town fast as his legs could carry him. Never saw him again. Ooh. Until today. Maybe. Well, I'll let you get on with your day. Until later. Until then. Wow! I think we wanted to go to Martin anyways, because the other people were talking about how suspicious he was acting. Okay, good that we just came red. I just actually came red. Nico, anything? Master Mahler, if it's not forward, it's too forward. I was wondering if you would do my family the honor of joining us for a meal. Perhaps later. Ah, very well. Until then, yeah, we could. We played cards with Samuel already. Hello, Andreas. Yeah, no more cards gaming over here. Interesting. They just said the brawl was over. Go mind your own business, and then we can. Yeah, I think some time went by. Actually, in the game. So yeah, here Hannah was. She was a little bit with when we talked Italian. I think we learned that she might have known more than we thought. Master Mahler, I'm glad I caught you. Would you and Kaspar like to join us for supper? Perhaps another time, Anna. Yeah, because we have to. I think it would start immediately. That's ours, right? Yeah, whatever. Let's go back to town because we definitely want to talk to Martin. That's, I think, one of the main clues we have. And then we also have to go to the forest. Yeah, we have to do a lot of investigations before we sit down for dinner again. Just got brawl and so forth. Thomas, I just am gonna talk again to as many people as I can. What have you come back to? This is all awful, just awful. I should never allowed Klaus to publish the 12 articles. This is what happens when common people get agitated by reading nonsense. What's the alternative? Forbidding them from reading? Sometimes yes. Just because a commoner has learned to read, that does not mean he can fully comprehend any book he finds. Some of these texts are written to inflame passions. They are not all written with modest intentions. These pamphlets, these books, can make people crazed, furious. Sister Amalia and I have seen what happens when good people become part of a mob. Here in Tassing? Thankfully no, it was much earlier. Before we came to Tassing, I was that priest in the priest in a town near a Benedictine convent. The town was full of good people, but the good people were whipped into a panic by an educated neighbor, the town doctor. He had read the Malleus Maleficiarum. It put ideas into his head. this one is. The Hammer of Witches, a treatise on witchcraft published in Speyer in 1486. Theologians at the University of Cologne condemned the book as unethical and not in line with Catholic doctrine. Despite this, the book was enjoyed widespread popularity. The Witch Hunting Manual? The author was driven out of Innsbruck, wasn't he? Yes, the word of that had not reached our doctor. One thing the book's author and the doctor shared was a contempt for and hatred of women. In the convent, the doctor saw a coven of witches. In Sister Amalia, he saw not just a mystic, but a woman possessed by evil spirits speaking blasphemy. But surely the local magistrate didn't believe that. No, he did not, but that didn't matter. The doctor inflamed his neighbor's fears. No matter what I did, no matter what I said, it made no difference. They wouldn't listen to reason, they wouldn't even listen to the scripture. In the dead of night, they gathered at the convent and set fire to it. Sister Amalia was lucky to escape with her life. That was the one in... trapped in here, right? The one living in the church, not leaving. The weird one. The rest of the nuns were not as fortunate. Wow. So I'm all too aware of what can happen when a mob forms. It should have known it would happen again. This is my fault. Can't blame yourself for this, Father. Why not? I share more than a small measure of responsibility. You'd think that Otto's death would have shocked the farmers into abandoning a hopeless cause. It's only inflamed them. Do what you can to keep the peasants calm. I'm still looking for Otto's killer. I will, but I fear this has all gone far beyond my control. I suppose there's no good fretting about what's already happened. I have to minister to the people of the town as best I can given the circumstances and pray for the best. Speaking of which, I need to hear confessions for the townsfolk. It's a Tassing tradition after St. John's Eve in the Casa. They got up any mischief they can wait until Easter in case they got up unto any mischief that can't wait until Easter. I expect they'll be coming early in the morning. If you could excuse me, I need to prepare. Father. Maybe I will them some more insights. Maybe we might be able to... At some point... This is Amalia, right? Tilia over. Maybe at some point we might be even able to... get more insights into maybe the... what he just taking the... solutions. Andreas, enjoy the bonfire? Not as much as you did. I enjoy midsummer. A chance to remember the old ways. What are you doing back here anyway? Came to pay my respect to brother Piero. I thought we talked this before. Why? He can't hear you. He's gone. For my own sake, I suppose. Alright, I understand that's stupid, but I understand it. Can't imagine why anyone would come to Tassing unless they were desperate. Do you work for Father Thomas? Work for? I'm a slave. I clean his damn church and keep his house so I have a roof over my head. Around the times the Baron was murdered, I lost my home. That bastard, the Abbey, took it from me. Now I have to rely on the charity of the church. I think we know this one. I hate the church as much as the Abbey. I wish... they were a hell, so I could send a lot of these holy men there. I understand. You don't, you cannot, no matter. Okay, we can ask your stuff right now, that's good. Do you know anything about Otto's murder? No, why would I? And why do you care? Just asking, because I think she would like the Abbey to burn down, to be actually. I'm just asking, you never know who might have seen or heard something. Well, I haven't. Are we done? Yes, until later. Okay, no info here. Let's continue then to Martin Bauer for more drastic accusations, I would say. Martin Bauer and Widow Kemperin, yeah? There we go. Hello? Down here, please. Okay, I need to use the mouse in this case. Martin Bauer's house, nobody home. Cat. Andreas Mahler. Hello, Cat. Well, would you look at that? You are back in Tassing. And look at you, you've done well for yourself. And who's this? Cat Please meet Caspar, my apprentice. Hello. Weird. I feel like maybe we haven't talked to everybody in town so far since we're actually back, because this sounds like a... Is he not a little bit more yeah, agitated by the situation? I don't know. He's got the posture of an artist, that's for sure. Good strong face though. I do? What brings you back to Tassing, Andreas? Just passing through on the way back to Nuremberg. I saw Martin earlier, I must say I was surprised to see him. That's right, he disappeared when you were last in town. Franz passed a few winters ago, then Wolf, Brigitte and I nearly lost the farm, all of our minds. Okay. Franz and Wolf, okay. Poor cut. But Martin returned shortly after and he's proved to be a changed man. A good man. What's the good meaning? He saved us from destitution. What is destitution? Probably taking the land when the husband dies or something. Of course, the Abbey would have seized your lands. John wished to buy it to preserve it for Brigitte and I, but with the taxes being what they are... Well, we are lucky Martin returned. I do not wish the fate of Ottilia Kemperin on any woman, least of all myself. Times may be hard in Tassing right now. Ottilia, okay, but God truly does answer our prayers. I'm glad you and your family are well cut, despite everything. Thank you, Andreas. It is truly good to see you again, even in the midst of such terrible times. I did want to ask you more about your son, actually. Martin seems to have become a changed man since I saw him last, almost like he's a different person entirely. Haha, I don't know about that. Oh, but he was still gone when you left Tassing, wasn't he? He returned several weeks later, like he always did. What is his travels of time that changed him? Only God knows the truth of a man's heart, but I suspect the challenges he faced on the road improved his memories of home. He hasn't stolen anything or run off in years. Truly, the Lord provides for his faithful. He and Otto were arguing the other day, though. Do you know why? Where were they? I'm sorry, Andreas, but I don't know anything about that. Martin support Otto in his cause against the Abbot's taxes. They didn't have any cause to fight. I mean, maybe he just pretended to be Jobst over there. Cut, the name who came back isn't Martin, his name is Jobst Färber. One of the pilgrims recognized him in the Golden Hand. I think Otto knew that Jobst wasn't who he said he was, you don't have to protect him. I know Martin has changed, but for him to be a different man? That's absurd. After Franz died, God blessed me by returning my son to me healed of this darkness. We should be giving thanks that the Lord led Martin to the light. Of course. Trust me, Andreas, I know my own son. Martin would never do such a thing. As you say. Until later, Andreas. Until then. Okay. But there we have him, right? So let's confront him, I guess. Our main suspect, I don't know, at least one of the high suspects, and always a quite suspicious guy. Andreas. I mean, he knows my name. How are you feeling after that brawl? It looks like you escaped the worst of it. I have a cautious nature, I suppose. Well, you didn't miss out on much, so I guess I'm the fool in all this. Anyway, it's good to see you after all these years. And you as well. What have you been up to? You look like you've done well for yourself. Art, I lived and worked in Poland for a few years. And people here think I'm well-traveled because I've been to Ulm. Though I suppose I had a lot of adventures for a country boy. What happened to you anyway? Oh, right. You know, I stole some of the Baron's things. I didn't make it far with them. I tried to sell them in Valgau and I got robbed. Serves me right, I guess. Luckily, they didn't find the coins I was carrying. The money carried me around Bavaria for another month and a half. Then I started stealing. I grew bigger and more confident over time and became a highwayman. Okay. Nice, I like the sound of this. Let's show our rascal side a bit more. It's less thrilling than you may believe. Anyway, it didn't last long. I eventually got scared of it. I had a partner for the last year of my adventures. We tried to rob some Italians. We thought they were merchants traveling under the banner of St. George. 2nd century Praetorian Guard and patron saint of England. He's most well known for his legendary victory against the dragon. Okay. But they were soldiers guarding money from the Bank of St. George in Genoa. Exactly, I learned that later. My partner didn't survive the encounter. I was wounded and alone in the wilderness. I thought of my father, my mother, Brigitte. I realized I couldn't remember Wolf's face anymore. I had to come back and take up the responsibilities I had left behind. Was coming back difficult? It was. It felt like I had stepped out of another life into this one. It took me a while to get used to everything, to remember how things used to be. Yeah, it's all in the past now, I just need to look forward. Martin, who are you? Yeah, let's do that. What do you mean? Werner Stolz said you lost a scar, a big one. This was the doctor, right? Yeah. Ah, yeah, this was the other indication we learned. What? I got that scar when I was a kid. It got better. Who is Jobst Färber? Who? Someone told me you look a lot like a man who goes by that name. A man who killed someone in a brawl in Mühldorf a few years back. Well, so what if I do look like him? I'm from Tassing and I didn't kill anyone in a tavern fight. Back in the meadow, I noticed you weren't sneezing. So, when you were a boy, you hated that meadow. I made you sneeze constantly. Your mother even mentioned it back then. I grew out of it. I'm fine now. Men with such an aversion to nature don't grow out of it. What do you want me to say? I did. Oh, right, let's stop this nonsense. You started it. I don't know what you're getting at. Okay, now we have here already a background pretty positive. Nice. I know about the fight. I know you didn't mean to kill that man. Sometimes things just happen. You can't run from your past forever. Alright, enough. I'm not Martin. Are you happy? Wow. My name is Jobst Färber. I'm from Mühldorf, just like the Ox family you met at the Landhaus. But it was Jozo, I guess. What happened to the real Martin Bauer? He died on the road, killed by bank guards. I met him in Kaufbeuren just as plague was tearing through the town. He had been stealing from the homes of the dead, praying to Saint Roch that he wouldn't be next. Saint Roch. According to the golden legend, this 14th century saint was miraculously born with a red cross birthmark on his chest, a plague saint and a patron of dogs, invalids and the falsely accused. I convinced him to leave. We took to the roads together. It only lasted a few months. It was long enough for him to tell me about his life here, about his family, even about you. Wow, that's how you know that's sick. Everywhere we went, people mistook us for brothers. After he died, I didn't see the harm. Jobst Färber was there to the world. I could never go back to Mühldorf. There was a still alive left for Martin Bauer here, even if it wasn't mine to live. He seemed to have fit into Martin's life easily. He left a hole in his family and never gave it a second thought. I never wanted to live on the run, Andreas. I wanted this life. I wanted a wife, a mother who loved me, children. You're going to use Brigitte and Kat to shield you from the consequence of Otto's murder? What? You think I killed Otto? He figured out your secret, that's how he got you to speak out in the comments. That part's true, but why would I kill him? I did what he asked. How long would it be before Otto told somebody else? Eva? Father Thomas? He wouldn't. Otto is a good man. He was. Alright, enough. You know I'm not Martin. Fine. Tell you have to tell, but I didn't kill Otto. I'll accept the consequences for what I've done, but I didn't do that. I'll consider what you've said. Good. If there's nothing else... Right, until later, Martin. God bless you, Andreas. Wow! Okay, that's some interesting revelations. Crazy. I think that Andreas does respect him for his honesty here, and I, to be honest, have also the feeling that he is not lying. That this is a true story. It's an interesting story, but yeah, it's definitely not. I think he's not going to be the murderer, so I think I'm not going to tell people immediately, no. Hello, Andreas. Could you spare a moment, Brigitte? I suppose. What do you need? It was so strange seeing Martin. What do you mean? Seems like he came back from his travels as a changed man. For the better, yes. For all the grief he gave me, we are happy now. Is that so bad? No, of course not. He did get into an argument with Otto when he was coming into town, though. What happened there? Why all the questions about my husband, Andreas? Trying to figure out who was murdering Martin. Well, certainly was Martin. Otto was pressing Martin to support him in the town's comments, Andreas. Martin has changed, but his history in this town is remembered. He doesn't want to cause more trouble. He didn't want to speak in the comments because he's afraid of the abbot. They squabbled over it, that's all. You're lying, Brigitte, I know the truth. Just come clean. I have no idea what you're talking about. Even if I did, I wouldn't help you accuse my husband. Martin's a good man. Things have changed for us. Why can't you believe that and leave us be? I'm just following up every lead I have. Yeah. Well, Martin is a changed man, whether or not you think so. Now, please, I need to get back to work. Of course, until later, Brigitte. Well, interesting that we couldn't tell her about Jobst in this case. There's nothing here. Okay, so yeah, this is when we learn something. At the same time... Oh, hello ladies. It was a good time when we were spinning last time. At the same time, I feel like... Who's here, by the way? What's going on over here? Johann? I guess we're going to talk to her, just to everybody these days. Before I look into German, yeah, it was a good game for us in terms of the new knowledge about Martin and Jobst, but doesn't help us solving the case. Let's just keep talking. Hello Andreas, good to see you back in town. Hello Veronica, how have you been? Oh, pulled every which way. Mom's been a cow about when I'll give her grandchildren. As I'm not doing enough work already. It's a good idea to set yourselves up for the future, Veronica. Are you two having trouble? Not exactly. York is fine, it's just... You're both young, relax, you have time. Easy for you to say, Andreas, you have the easy part. Anyway, I should get back to work. We are all preparing for the festival. I'll leave you to it until later, Veronica. See you, Andreas. Okay. Teddy. Hello, Andreas. Nothing there. House is locked. Okay. Hans, what's up? Hello. Johann, what's up? Andreas, you and me need to talk. Why? What's on your mind? Why are you helping the others? You know what he's been doing to our families. Father Gernot may not be able to get a fair trial, but someone should defend him. Why does it have to be you? You live down here, you know what it is like. It hasn't been easy these past 7 years you've been gone. Do you really think that burning down the Abbey will make things better? I don't know. But if the abbot doesn't care about what happens to us, maybe we need to hurt something he does care about. That's a dangerous gamble, Johann. Duke's soldiers could easily raise all of Kingston if you do anything drastic. You may be right, but I don't know what else to do. Do what you have to do. Do what you have to do, Mala. Okay, at least we pacify him. Seems to be at least in line with our actions now. There's Peter. Ooh, yeah, let's talk to him. Hello, Andreas. Oh, he's got nothing to say. Let's see. Clara, what's up? It's been a while. Hello, Andreas. Let's go stay here with the Gärtner's Ursula. Hello. Hello, Ursula. Do you remember me? No, should I? You used to poke me in the foot with a stick to wake me up? I did. You did? I stayed in the room upstairs. I kind of remember that. Cough, cough. I think you told me a story once. Mom and Dad sometimes talk about you. They said you went away for more training. What was that like? Well, while I was in Krakow, I learned a new printing technique. No, not about the art, Andreas. About your travels. Alright, alright. I saw a cave where a dragon lived. What? Really? Yes. Under the hills the locals call Wawal. When the dragon was alive, it was so hungry it demanded 3 cattle to eat every day. Or what? Or it would eat 3 kettles worth of people. But eventually the king got tired of this and came up with a scheme. They fed the dragon with cattle skin filled with sulfur. What sulfur? A stone that burns. They set a small fire in the heart of the sulfur. After the dragon ate it, the fire spread and burned the dragon from inside. But it's gone now, right? Yes, of course. It couldn't have visited its cave if it were still alive, could I? Oh, right. Andreas, can I ask you something? Of course. Do you know the stories about Perchta and the Wild Hunt? Wild Hunt. In Germanic folklore, the Wild Hunt is a supernatural cavalcade of spirits and fiends which may cause destruction or portent war and other catastrophe if do not adequately pleased. The Wild Hunt is often led by legendary figures such as Perchta or the Devil. And Perchta, pagan goddess of the Alps, associated with animals and spinning wool. She's still invoked by some Christians in Austria, Switzerland, Bavaria and Swabia. Yeah, we talked about Perchta, I think, before, that there's still like these chasing away the bad ghosts where people dress up like Perchta. The Wild Hunt I haven't heard in this context, to be honest. I know the Wild Hunt obviously, as most people I guess from The Witcher 3 that I haven't played, just watched a Let's Play myself. And the Wild Hunt, I thought, since The Witcher is supposedly, focused around Slavic tales and traditions, so that one's surprising to me. Nevertheless, it's interesting to hear. Always learning new things. I like Pentiment a lot for these little things. A little. I didn't learn about them until I lived here. Why? Are they bad? Bad how? People say, my grandpa used to talk about Perchta and spirits and charms. And the old woman, Ottilia, she talks about them too and say all these words I don't understand. She talks sometimes. She told me they're part of the old ways or something. So why do you think they're bad? Well, my dad says that I shouldn't listen to any of it. He said it's nonsense and that Father Thomas would be mad. He said he only tolerates it with old people because they're too stuck in their ways. I don't want to get in trouble, but Ottilia says if I don't learn the old ways, they'll just be forgotten. Why are you asking me? I'm afraid if I ask someone else, they'll tell my dad or worse, Father Thomas. So are they bad? They're not bad, but those stories could get you in trouble, so maybe you shouldn't learn about the old ways. Really? Well, they're just stories, of course, but... False. She's going to learn it. I'm sorry, forget I said anything. Until later. Yeah, surprised. Is this, like, maybe you have been also possible fire shot that already? I'm not sure. We can't get up right to our old room. Doesn't seem to be possible. Nope, then I guess we have to leave again. Oh, well, no clues at all for, Big Jörg, come on. And this is where we started our first run, right here. Big Jörg, hello Andreas. Doesn't look we can as if we could get too many informations over here. Let's keep on going. But probably not in this very episode. Yeah, it's saving right now, this is good. Yeah guys, I think we're gonna end this episode here after half an hour. Good time. To conclude, yeah, interesting with Jörg or Martin that we learned about this. What do you think? Should we reveal this to his wife or anybody? I think we're gonna keep it at least for the moment for ourselves, as long as we can, or whatever's necessary. And yeah, I don't know how this is going to help us with finding the real murderer also, but at least we know something. And yeah, I should have done this in disclaimer, but again, if you're still here, that's fantastic, and I'm really impressed since the audience hasn't been too high for Pentiment. No matter what, it would be fantastic if you leave me a little comment and let me know something if you're still here and enjoy this one, because I do love it and I'm going to finish. Even though it might be economically not necessarily smart for me in terms of clicks and so forth. Yeah, Manor Lords at this moment, I also have not such big commenting section, so therefore I might prioritize at the moment this one alongside Victoria. So lucky you, if you like it, definitely let me know, please down in the comments, and of course if you haven't yet, it would also be fantastic if you leave me a like and a subscription to support the channel a bit and my work. Thank you so much for this, and then, yeah, most importantly, see you next time when we continue our story to find the murderers here in Kassel with Andreas and Kaspar. Yeah, exactly. So thanks for watching, and then see you next time in the next episode. Bye. Your Strategy Wolf.